Hey everyone, welcome back to the CNSL Season 7. Today we're going to be starting out the round of 16's Group C. We're going to have MC playing, which is probably one of the most exciting things about this group, in my opinion. A great StarCraft 2 legend, one of the best of all time, but doing really well in Brood War right now. Not quite at that ASL level, but definitely a threat here in the CNSL. We're also going to have Bishop, which I know he is a huge fan favorite on this channel. Everyone loves Bishop's style. They love his games. We'll see if he's able to make it out of here. Then we're going to have Kid, who's actually filling in for Tyson. Kid originally got third place in that group with Hyun and Tyson. But Tyson did have to pull out of the tournament, unfortunately, so Kid will be taking his place. And that might not be the best news for Yoon. Yoon is such a strong Zerg player. But Kid's ZVZ has been strong in this tournament and others recently as well. So should be a very excellent group. Hope that you guys are excited for it. We're going to start off with MC against Bishop. Let's get into that now. All right, we're on Apocalypse. And in the bottom left, we have Bishop. In the bottom right, none other than MC. All right, very, very exciting stuff. As far as this matchup goes, I definitely do favor Bishop. I do think he's a higher level than MC still, but the thing that you must realize, I think, about MC, if you actually look at his career, he was about to get, he was like one game from MSL and OSL before StarCraft came out. Like his name was Iron Cal back then. He was really rising up super quickly, almost made it into both leagues, and then switched over to StarCraft 2, became the first Protoss champion of GSL, he has still a tied record of 2 GSL victories for a Protoss player, and, won countless tournaments. The guy knows how to win. He's one of the most influential players in the history of StarCraft 2. He's come back to StarCraft 1. He's very strong. He's very smart. And so I feel like he has that kind of like championship mentality, that championship mind. So, like I said, I think that Bishop is a higher level than MC currently, but there might come a time that MC suddenly everything clicks and he just starts crushing people. I really think that could occur. I don't know if it will, but we'll see, I guess, right? Like he's already shown in, the highest level of StarCraft 1 ever that he was almost there. So anyways, he is going for a Nexus first here on Apocalypse. We'll see exactly how greedy that's going to be. Going to go ahead and scout, but he's going to scout Bishop second. Bishop going for what looks like probably a factory expansion. We might end up seeing a Marine Vulture pull against this. Because he's scouting it first, he can actually send his very first Marine over as well and start some harassment. There's one gate from MC as he sends this probe up to the front. And, okay, so when you see this pylon as Bishop, you start rethinking whether you're going to rush. Right? Like, he doesn't have to make the choice yet, but he's going to have to pretty soon. He sees the gas. Now, the gas does not give anything away. If you're going for a Forge expansion on your Nexus, you can go Gate Gas Forge. Okay? He has this place, so it looks like it could be Forge, and if you put that third depot down, which he's going to have to decide, and they go Forge, you're not going to be too happy about that. There's the Forge. Okay. So Bishop already is drilling his SCVs. He has a Marine out and a second Marine that's almost there. So the probes are going to have to be pulled. His Zealot's going to get out before the second Marine is there, but not before the first. So the probes are going to have to basically fight against this for now. And he actually had a drill in there. I'm not sure where he saw the minerals, but nice. And he pulls back. Okay, there's the first cannon. Yeah, he has to pull more SCVs. Here comes that Zealot now. Now, if he gets the cannon up, he's going to be in great shape. But Bishop, I feel like Bishop has maybe just enough to pull this off. We'll see. The probes actually come and get a very good surround here. And in fact, he's going to kill 2 of the SCVs. Now, can he block the bunker from ever finishing? That's the next question. So the bunker, he's trying to finish this so hard. Oh my God. and actually does end up losing that. The cannon going to finish. Oh my god, this is so close right now. This is absolutely unbelievable. Four Marines get in. Now he's going to target down SCVs. If he can stop the repair, he'll end up holding this. Oh my god. This is so close right now. I really am a little bit unsure. The cannon may be able to finish this with the help of a little bit of probery. Oh my god, he gets it with 3 Marines left. The Vulture gets up here as well. Another Zealot comes out. You can see just how ridiculously close this has been. And that's going to be it. GG almost holds, but Bishop going to win with that rush. GG, on to the next match. So we have Kid here in the bottom left, and in the bottom right we have Yoon. Very, very fast TVP previously there. You know, sometimes the game ends like that, where it's just barely hold. MC actually, I think, did a pretty good job. Like, he went for as greedy a cannon as he could, and Bishop just barely punished. Like, if you think about it, right, if he had gone Forge before the gas, and like I said, right, you can go gas first, and you saw how close that was. But if you go Forge before the gas, get the cannon up a little bit quicker, the rest of your build is weaker, but he probably holds there, right? Because he was about, I don't know, 15 seconds from completely holding that. And then your opponent is so far behind. So unbelievably far behind. So very close one. And now we're into a Zerg versus Zerg. And who the hell knows what's going to happen here? I'm actually excited about this, okay? This is... Oh, are we getting a 9 pool or are we going to get a 9 hatch? Oh, it's an overpool. I'm sorry. That's an overlord being made. Or, I mean, it could be a 12 pool as well, but we'll see. You know, I don't get excited about ZVZ every time. You know, we definitely have some good ZVZ matches from time to time, but I do find it really entertaining when it's one of these very aggressive Chinese Zergs, because... Like, the Chinese Zergs, okay, so here's how it feels to me, and you guys can let me know in the comments if you kind of feel the same, because I've casted a lot of the Chinese pros on here. We've seen a lot of their games. This is what I think as far as the Zergs go. The Chinese Zergs are almost to a T very aggressive. They seem to upset the Korean pros pretty often in Zerg vs. Zerg, and somewhat often in Protoss vs. Zerg, but or Zerg vs. Protoss, rather. But it doesn't feel like they have too much chance against the Korean Terrans. And this is something that we've seen kind of historically, where it's like, well, I guess that makes sense, right? Like, Zerg kind of has the aggressive edge in those other 2 matchups. But if you look at, you know, against Terran, you kind of have to have stability there. If you're just known as a purely aggressive Zerg, generally it's not going to work out long-term, like percentage-wise for you in that matchup. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but... Therefore, like, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel very confident in Kid beating Bishop or MC, especially a best of 3. Like, maybe taking a map. Of course, he is a good player. But here against Yoon, I'm like, I don't know, man. Anything can happen. And we see that he's actually got a better build than Yoon. Okay, and it's just slightly better, right? There are little differences in these openings where it's like, okay, this is a very fast layer. A very fast Zergling rush, but because this was pool into hatchery, you can see that he's equalizing the Zergling counts, right? There's 8 plus 2 drones. So he's just kind of making sure that he has enough to hold on. Kid making nothing but Zerglings. We're probably going to see a Zergling all-in from Kid, or very close to all-in. I think using the word all-in in ZVZ doesn't make that much sense, because... all in kind of is like, okay, you do this and it has to work or you lose. But actually in ZVZ, we have so many varying degrees of damage. Like, when you bring in Zerglings, if even 2 are still alive, sometimes you kill 3 drones and the game is even, you know? Like, that type of stuff happens pretty often. So I guess I probably shouldn't call it an all-in, but more like he's going to play this very aggressively. Pure Zerglings being made. He did start his lair, so he's going towards that. Now, will Yoon have enough to hold on? He's making the Zergling conga line here. Oh, he's going to make it even bigger. Look at this. He's really taking the time. Of course, his overlords see all, right? He sees it's pure Zergling coming out. I want to see a sunken. Yeah, he starts a sunken here. He's making this little conga line. He wants to get it up as quickly as possible. It might not be ready. Dude, if he attacks right there. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. But the conga line is holding. He's got to buy a little bit more time here for his sunken colony. It is being made. He's going to pull back for now. Has to make sure he's not losing this spire. Okay, 2 mutas being made. Yoon definitely could have the advantage here. Now, the Zerglings come out and start going after the spire. The spire being in such a forward position gives them some decent surface area. If he can kill the spire, this game might go into his favor. They're actually on the same drone count right now. The spire getting very low. Yoon's got to just target... I mean, Kid has to target this down, and he is going to get it. Okay, so 3 mutas are going to pop before he loses the spire. Now, losing the spire is terrible, but it's not necessarily the end of the game. He says a high health sunken, so he can kind of keep this defensively. It looks like he's going to maybe keep a muta home defensively. The other 2 are going to go drone hunting. Now, looking over here, evolution chamber, spore on the way, right? Well, he hasn't started the spores, but he will. He should be able to get at least 1 drone here. And obviously, this is kind of like screwing up mining a little bit, but you don't have that many drones anyways, so who cares? 1 drone goes down. Dude, look at the drone counts right now, and you see there is a counterattack going on. 5 drones remain. Yoon, oh, he doesn't get that last one. I think it would have been worth it to take another spore shot or 2 to get that. But look at this, another attack in here by Kid. He wants to kill some more drones, and he gets another one. Okay, so let's try to look at this situation. We have a new spire on the way, double spore, no spire started. 5 drones for Kid, 7 for Yoon. But we have, you know, the double base, so more larvae. You can refill that drone count a lot easier. Plus the spores that kind of stop attacks, right? This is a wild situation. That you can notice already that Kid is catching up in drones. He's equalized the drone count now. One thing that he may need to do is think about additional spores, okay? So if you look at this spore covers these mineral patches, basically, okay? This mineral patch, a drone there, I'm pretty sure you can hit. Obviously, it doesn't cover this. Look at this spore. It definitely doesn't cover this mineral patch. The thing is, you don't necessarily have to cover every mineral patch. Obviously, it's good, but, you know, you're so low on drones that sometimes you don't need that. But he doesn't have anything guarding the geyser, right? So his extractor could be attacked. So these are just things to kind of keep in mind. And in fact, he's going up to, looks like 4 spores right now. And like at that point, you're looking at this saying, okay, he has more larvae. Like, look at this. He has more drones. He's going to have access to double gas. The one thing we actually should see out of Yoon, the one thing he might want to think about here is taking an expansion, because it's going to be a while before his opponent really gets to the situation where he's going to have his own Mutalisks out. So I feel like that might be a key play. Get that expansion up. Make sure that you're going to have more gas income. Another spore is going to go up. So it's going to be 3 spores. Now, the mutas come in, and as we were talking about before, right, this is not covered. So he puts this actually back close enough that these 2 spores cover it. Really smart. If it had been here, I think he might actually lose it before it comes up. And look at this. Dude, he's going up to 6 spores. This is such a turtled position for Kid. I can't blame him, though, right? And I love to see this, too, because Kid opened up aggressively, but he's going into a macro game. Like, this is one of those rare ZVZs that's going to hit 10 minutes, right? Like, there's some real potential for this game going longer. When you have this type of spore count, there's no real way for Yoon to kill him. So Yoon looks at this and says, okay, you have spent so much money on these. We are definitely going to have to think about going into an expand. He does, in fact, make that hatch. And in fact, with this many spores, I think Yoon, he has actual potential to take even another hatchery. Also, yeah, I was just going to say, because this is going to go in a mass muta game, he should start +1 KR pace. And there it is. The +1 KR pace, of course, reduces the mutas by 3 damage, right? Because there's glaives that bounce off. So it's like the primary attack of 9, you take 1 from that. And then there is a glaive that does 3 damage and a glaive that does 1 damage. So that 1 armor changes Muta versus Muta so significantly. Of course, that upgrade does cost 50 more gas than the attack upgrade, so occasionally we'll see that attack upgrade instead, but I think that this is like basically a perfect counter from Yoon. But it's not even the end of the road here for Kid, because don't forget, like, yeah, you're getting in here and you're killing some drones here and there, but really, Kid's got a better economy. He's got more, and he, like, you hear that, right? So he kills 2 drones, he loses a Muta. Not a great trade. Not a great trade. So, like, I think that Kid actually has this really funny situation where he's going to be able to macro up and kind of keep some control in the game, really kind of decide where this is going to end up going to. So right now, more mutas being made. He gets the second gas up. The drone count is kind of close. Kid keeping a slight advantage there. Muta's flying back in. I love seeing a few drone kills here. There he does end up losing another Muta, so it's not like perfectly executed. Okay, gets another one. Just whittling that down a little bit, keeping that kind of tempo advantage. Big Zergling attack coming in. The Muta's going to help out against this, obviously, but he might end up losing some drones. Kid coming in, going after these drones. And don't forget, we saw that sunk in there. It's actually healed up a lot. Mutalisks on the way for both sides. Carapace started here for Yoon as well, but there is going to be a period of like a minute and a half to 2 minutes where we have that upgrade for Yoon, but not for Kid, so he's going to have to watch out for that. And, you know, you can start a secondary upgrade as well. Right, the secondary armor upgrade only stops really 2 damage instead of 3, but it's still very good, but it's way more expensive than +1 attack and takes longer. So I would suggest in this situation for Yoon to go for the +1 attack. As an upgrade, it's the same cost as a Mutalisk, so I think that that's like a very good choice if he goes for that. Now, the Lings did get held off. We're on very similar, in fact, exact same drone counts. More Mutas right now for Yoon. That +1 armor almost done. But as long as Kid is taking fights only near his spores, look at this. He's actually diving on the spore. That's kind of crazy. I'm surprised that he did that, but you know what? He killed it really quickly. And, in fact, cancels out second one. You can see the second one, he built a little bit further back to try to defend it more with spores. I feel like Kid is actually playing a very good game, guys. A very good game here, right? Like he's doing an excellent job. This is a tough situation. If you misstep, Yoon will kill you. But he's doing very well with like this spore placement, spore amount. He's taking this situation very seriously. Look at that. Ooh, actually gets a good hit there. I'm not sure about that though. That dive was not the one. Hitting with Scourge though, absolutely amazing. +1 carapace is done for Yoon. We'll see if another spore can go up. You can see that he's only using this mineral patch because it's the only one that's actually defended right now. More mutas on the way on both sides. Again, the mineral patch is not nearly as important as those gases. Kid still with 500 gas in bank. That's kind of crazy. I want to see how many mutas we actually have. Okay, so this is a group of 11, and he is making some more, right? So we're up around 13. Here, 8 so far, so he's down 5, but he's got 400 more gas, and his carapace is about to finish. So we're actually going to see this even up pretty well. It's, yeah, like as they both spend their gas down to 0, we're going to even it up pretty well. And in fact, Kid is the one that starts a secondary upgrade. I love it. I love it. But this is what I was talking about before. Taking that third base, knowing that you have a slight edge and getting another expansion, incredibly strong. Is that something we could see out of Kid? Well, no, not really. His third base might be here or it might be here. And you can see that Yoon is actually looking for that right now with this Zergling. Because the reason why Kid is able to stay in this game and continue to play is his spores. So he can't get spores up at an expansion. Yoon does have the winning amount of Mutalisks at the moment. It's going to get closer. It's getting closer over time. But like you can't quite get it yet as Kid, right? You're not quite there. You can't quite afford getting that third base. So as this finishes for Yoon, he's going to shoot ahead as far as mutas go. All right, Kid comes out. Now, there is one thing I should mention here, okay? And he should be pulling back all the way to his spores. Because he has spores, if we get into a base trade, that generally will go favored towards the spore player. Because, you know, you have to kill the spores, so it's extra buildings, extra health, and it will kill, or very badly damage some mutas, which may help you if you have to come back and actually fight them, right? You have less buildings with less health that you have to kill. You're not losing any mutas during it. So just some things to consider. Now, Ling's running up from Kid. He sees that the third hatchery is finished. He sends the Lings instead to the natural. Going to go after some of the drones here. There are a couple Lings that buy some time here for Yoon. He will lose a drone, but only one. So good defense. Don't forget, once again, that +1 upgrade still on the way for Kid. So he will be up in upgrade. And that extra 1 damage is not nothing. You know, when you have basically the same numbers of things and you have like 1 more damage coming out of all your things than they have, that is a lot more damage. Think about it, right? So let's say that they fight with 20 mutas and you have +1, right? So you're dealing per volley an extra 20 damage. So the extra 20 damage, like how many mutas is that? That's multiple mutas, right? That's like two additional mutas or so that makes for you for the cost of 1 muta. It's wild. Upgrades are great. Okay, we have a ridiculous amount of mutas. There's 11. Okay, so here's 11. There's 11. So right now 22. Dude, I have no idea. This is insanity. This is more than 22. The way he's moving them, it's actually really hard to count. And he's got all the Scourge in there. Yeah, he definitely has a little bit more than 22, and he has Scourge in his group as well. There's Scourge, of course, on both sides. +2 Carapace started here for Kid, as well as for Yoon. Yoon's did start a little bit earlier. Don't forget, +2 Carapace is over 2 mutas in cost. So, you know, that could factor into things, but I guess they're both getting it, so not really. Dude, I don't know what this is going to even look like. I think Yoon just has more here, but it might come down to Scourge as well. And here we go. An absolutely insane battle going on between these two. And yeah, it does look like Yoon just has an overwhelming amount of Mutalisks. And you can see how badly that turns in his favor. He did not have this many more Mutalisks, right? Like there's like 12 plus mutas left. He didn't have 12 plus, but you know, when you account for glaive bouncing and the speed with which you're killing mutas, it's insane how one-sided that becomes so quickly. I think the game was really well played by Kid, but Yoon will advance to that winner's match. Guys, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.